Greetings and salutations, folks. My name is Nick, and welcome to the demo for Slay the Princess, a new game, or should I say, an upcoming game, from Black Tabby Games, the maker of Scarlet Hollow. As you can see, visit Scarlet Hollow. It is an excellent early access game that's going on right now. I believe they've only got 3 of the episodes for that out, which are all great. Buy it now, buy it. But until then, Slay the Princess. Still maintaining that horror theme, but also that kind of like I feel like Black Tabby Games, along with the lead artist Abby Howard, kind of like maintains that line of of like walking the line between horror and comedy, and I still don't know exactly what the whole deal is. I know it's a little bit more complicated than what it is presenting itself to be. So let's see what's going on here. Chapter 1, The Hero and the Princess.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
All right, that's fair. Also interesting to note is that Slay the Princess is fully voiced, the narrator and the princess herself, as opposed to Scarlet Hollow, although Scarlet Hollow is a much bigger, sprawling adventure with many more characters.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Let's see. So like Scarlet Hollow, you have these options. Explore allows you to ask questions, get information without proceeding with the game, and then these options proceed. So the end of the world, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her.
All right. But how can a princess locked away in a basement end the world?
Don't linger on the specifics. You have a job to do here. Just get in there and do what needs to be done. We're all counting on you.
Don't you have a job to do? Don't you have someone to kill? Bonus points if you know what that's referencing. Do you have any evidence to back this up?
Look, you're already on the path that leads to the cabin. Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far, you might as well reach the end of your journey.
Okay, but how did I get on this path? Have you considered that maybe the only reason she's going to end the world is because she's locked up? Maybe that caused her to, psychoactively dissociate from her normal good self to become evil?
While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock. Nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. She is not dangerous because she's locked up. And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation.
All right, fair enough.
Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no change in that. It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything. Unless, of course, you do your job and slay her.
Okay, but how is the princess going to end the world? Killing a princess seems kind of bad, though, doesn't it?
Does it? Are you a monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman or a miller or a seamstress? If anything, slaying a princess is much better than slaying a seamstress. Seamstresses contribute something of value to society.
Have you considered that maybe I'm okay with the... let's see. Look, I'll go into the cabin, I'll talk to her, and if she's as bad as you say she is, then maybe I'll slay her, but I'm not committing to anything until I've had the chance to meet her face to face.
Then I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But a word of warning. If you go in prepared to hear her out, she could easily trap you in her web of lies. And the more you listen to her honeyed words, the harder it'll be to pull yourself out. Then each and every one of us is doomed. So sure, go, talk to her. See how that turns out for all of us.
All right.
You make your way up the short path of the cabin. You'll find the princess within. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
The voice of the hero, a third character. Proceed into the cabin.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
All right, let's take the blade.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
Has the hand always been this kind of like with a hooked finger?
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
Yeah,
Her
but
voice carries up the stairs.
But that kind of logic is basically like saying if you live in a crappy home, you might as well die. It's not the person's fault that the residence is crappy, that they're locked up in. They could always be locked up in a better home.
Who's there?
It's
Nobody.
commanding. Almost as though she's the one in charge down here.
Well, she's also probably been born into royalty, so that's
Don't let
her
it fool you.
expectation.
It's all part of the manipulation. Good. You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world? Focus on the task at hand.
Are you here to kill me or something?
I'm here to play Magic the Gathering with you. I'm just here to talk.
So, why'd you bring a knife with you? How about you drop it and then we can chat?
She makes a compelling point. What if we just dropped the blade and talked? Look at her. It's not like she's a threat. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
Very true. Let's follow the voice of the hero.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
The narrator seems disappointed.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
All right.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed. We'll be fine.
Will we? I get the impression we won't.
I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So, this is a pretty awkward start to a relationship.
Let's see, what's your name?
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
Note the lack of detail. You can't trust her.
Is this an unreliable narrator going on? Yeah, it is pretty awkward.
Not to make things even more awkward, but do you know why you're here to kill me?
No, I can't say I do. I've been told things, but I'm not sure what to believe.
Believe me.
And do you think asking me what to believe is going to suddenly make everything crystal clear? Let's not pretend that's going to happen. As far as you're concerned, and as far as they're concerned, I'm going to say whatever I have to get out of here. That's just the dynamic of our situation.
How are you even in here in the first place? How would I get you out of here?
You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here. And if there isn't, well, we can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting, right?
Because if she's suggesting that I cut off her hand, I feel like that by itself is strange enough to make me distrust the princess.
She is. I'm sure of it.
There's people out there who think you're a threat to the world, and by people, I mean one person, the narrator. What do you have to say about that?
Don't just tell her that.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think.
You think you like the world.
I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here for so long.
And that's another question. What is here? Is here a physical space in this story? Is it a metaphysical space?
Just how long has she been down here?
Did they even bother to tell you how I'm supposed to end the world? Because that just doesn't sound like the sort of thing I'd be capable of.
That's one of my questions. No, and if I'm being honest, I'm more inclined to trust you than I'm inclined to trust them.
Sooner or later, you'll understand that I have your best interests at heart. Hopefully sooner.
How sweet. Now be a pal and help me get out of here, would you? We can figure out how to deal with them after I'm free.
I still have a few more questions before I decide what to do.
Fine. What do you want to know?
How long have you been down here?
Too long.
Again, she offers no specifics. No matter how hard you try, you'll never get a straight answer out of her.
And I can't get a straight answer out of you either. Okay, we've talked enough.
Oh. Have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here.
Let's slay the princess.
Doubt, unfortunately, clouds your thoughts as you attempt to run her through.
What is... Hold on. Who are we? I was going to say the claw hand, but...
A moment of distraction and hesitation is all she needed to sidestep your thrust and deliver a catastrophic blow to your jaw. It feels like you've been hit with a sledgehammer. You can feel bone grinding on bone where your jaw has been fractured. Holy shit, that hurts! Though she's unarmed, the shock of that first strike is enough to stagger you, putting you and the princess on somewhat equal footing. Your blade slashes through the air again and again, and her fists connect with your body as many times or more, each impact as heavy as that first bone-crushing hit. We can still turn this around.
Let's try our best.
You and the princess stare at each other, both gasping for breath, equally exhausted. You probably won't make it out of here alive. You can at least make sure that she won't make it out of here either. Excuse me? I think this is what I wanted to happen. I have a duty to state the facts of the situation, and honestly, it's a miracle anyone is still standing right now. Can you not feel all those ruptured organs bouncing around in there? If the princess doesn't do our friend in her cell, internal bleeding is certain to finish the job. The two of you clash for the final time. You feel your ribs break as she delivers a heavy blow, but you push through the pain, falling forward and sinking your blade deep into the princess's heart.
Oh.
The two of you fall to the floor.
This was fun.
The princess gasps, her voice an unhealthy rasp as her lungs start to fill with blood.
You put up more of a fight than I thought you would, but I have to wonder, do you really think this is the end?
No, it seemed... I don't know if too easy is the right phrasing, but too quick. Like there's something else at work in this story.
There it is again. That razor-sharp look in her eyes and the terrifying conviction in her words. But you don't have the time to worry over such things. Everything goes black, and you die. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Have we been on this path before? I'm getting a sense of deja vu.
A terrible sense of deja vu. No, you don't have that. This is the first time either of us has been here. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
Huh.
There's nothing we can do to stop her. She's going to kill us again. Oh, is there another one of us in here? If you go to the cabin, you might as well just throw yourself at her feet and beg for mercy. You are never going to slay her with that attitude. Stuff that pathetic little voice to the back of your mind and stay focused on the task ahead.
All right. Yeah, I get it. I'm going to the cabin.
I have one last warning for you.
Oh, okay.
She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. It's not her eyes that'll stop us.
Yeah, it'll be her sick fighting skills while chained to a wall.
I must admit, I'm a little worried about going back in there. I don't want to be as much of a downer as my new roommate, but we were definitely outclassed last time. She seems more demon than princess. Ignore them, they don't know what they're talking about. She's just a princess. Don't get all in your head about it. The interior of the cabin is larger than it should be. The only item of furniture is a plain wooden table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Alright, let's grab the blade.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
Alright, let's go into the basement.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old wooden staircase. The steps are wide and deep. The air seeping up from below is heavy and oppressive, with an odd, eggy stink to it. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her fierce voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
It's somehow even fiercer than it was before. Of course it is. Don't let it intimidate you. You carefully make your way down the stairs. As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view, a large shackle leading from her wrist to the basement wall.
What was the comment your voice made? More demon than princess?
Is it just me, or is she bigger than last time? It looks like she could rip those chains out of the wall without a second thought. I told you. It's pointless.
I was wondering when I might have company. Free me from my bindings, and maybe I'll let you live for a while.
There's 7 endings in the demo and many ways to die. All right. Actually, let's take a look at a couple more things, because we've only kind of poked around a little bit.
You're on a path.
Like, we don't need to worry about a lot of these other things. Let's turn around and leave.
Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
Let's quietly continue down the path away from the cabin.
Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. Good. What we're being asked to do here is wrong. Better to wash our hands of this whole situation than to take part in it. Ignore that annoying little voice. He doesn't know what he's talking about. That's strange. It looks like this path also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all.
Or I could just turn around and leave again.
You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't do your job, everyone dies. Like, dies. Forever. Your silence is deafening. But fine, you turn around and trek back down the path you came. Oh, would you look at that? You're at the cabin again. Now, I'm not normally one for superstition or astrology, but I have to say, it seems like the universe itself is doing its best to bring you to your fated confrontation with the princess.
Yeah, it also kind of makes me wonder again about like the metaphysical nature of it. Oh yeah, well I guess I start walking in a different direction. Again, in fact, I'm gonna just keep trekking through the wilderness until I find a way out of this place.
There's always a choice. Let me tell you right now that you're making the wrong one for pretty much everyone who's ever lived, as well as for everyone who ever will. And here we go. As you trudge into the woods, something strange starts to happen. First, it's little flickers out of the corner of your eyes. Glimpses of familiar wooden structures through the leaves. But as you focus on your surroundings, you start to realize that those flickers weren't just a trick of light. In every direction, there is a path and a cabin. And not just a cabin, the cabin. An infinite fractal of paths and cabins desperately trying to draw you back to where you need to be.
Am I feeling a little bit of Stanley Parable going on here?
Wait, what's going on? You're too stubborn for that, aren't you? It doesn't matter how many paths or cabins appear around you, you're just going to do whatever you can to shirk your responsibility because you care more about irritating hitting me than you do about the fate of the world. You've doomed us all. You know that, right? But of course you do. Otherwise, you just wander off into the forest in search of certain death. You lose track of just how long you spend aimlessly tromping through the wilderness. But it's not like any of that time spent lost in the woods really matters, because it isn't long before the world ends and everyone dies.
Okay, but how does that happen?
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is that you're here to stay.
You aren't kidding. She actually ended the world last time, didn't she? What the hell is she?
Last I checked, there wasn't any last time. We've just met, you and
I think I'm sort of getting one of the... So, there's probably going to be a sequence of chapters. And no matter what, you're going to eventually lead to some ending. But, because of the way that the story is built, you'll still be able to have a lot of variety between every sequence.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe... Yeah, screw this guy. He might have walled off everything but the path to the cabin, but I'm sure there's plenty of other ways we can ruin his day.
Oh, hello, new voice.
If by ruining my day you mean ruining everyone's day forever, then yes, I suppose there are plenty of ways you could pull that off. Still, the world really did end last time, didn't it? We should be careful. You are never going to slay her with that attitude. Stuff those pathetic little voices to the back of your mind and stay focused.
Alright, let's see. Oh, don't you worry, I'll gladly slay that princess. She's got it coming. Nope, let's lie. Okay, definitely gonna slay that princess.
No, I can tell when you're lying, right? Please take this seriously. I am begging you. I have one last warning for you.
Oh, every other path is literally walled off now.
She will lie. She will cheat. Maybe we should believe her. Maybe she isn't a liar. Ignore them, they're just being difficult. The interior of the cabin is odd, the air smelling faintly of plastic. The wood of the walls
we're in a
fitting
different
together at uncomfortable
cabin
angles.
this time.
The only furniture is a plain wooden table, its legs all the wrong lengths, causing it to tilt towards the door. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your... If he wants us to take it, maybe we should just leave it to collect dust. Or better yet, grab it and throw it out the window. What good is a knife against a world-ending monstrosity anyways?
That's an excellent point.
I, for one, would rather have it. We don't really know what we're dealing with here. I've already told you what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a princess. How many times do I have to explain this incredibly simple and straightforward premise?
I'm pretty sure it's not that incredibly simple or straightforward.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old wooden stair. Her voice carries up.
Hello. Is someone there?
Hello.
This isn't what I expected her to sound like.
Same here.
What is she? I think we'd all like to know. You're playing a dangerous game by coming down here unarmed. You carefully make your way down the stairs. As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view. She locks eyes with you, one moving a little faster than the other. The loose skin of her face stretches into something resembling a smile. Good lord. Something bulges.
Hello?
Roiling under her skin as she starts to speak, her voice pouring out between her closed teeth.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I had a friend.
Right. Well. Let's try one more time. Let's see what happens if you show up in the first section.
Your honor, you're here.
Without a weapon.
You make your warning. She will go. Ignore him. The interior of the blade.
Let's enter the basement.
The door to her voice
Hello?
is, don't let it fool. How many times do I have to
I'm
tell
here
you
to
how
save you.
dangerous letting her out of here would be before it finally sinks in?
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me? I was starting to think I'd be stuck down here forever. Come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
It is I, Hero Man.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the prince. She's beautiful. I am begging you to stay focused.
Hi. I can't believe you're here. I've been waiting for something like this to happen forever.
Well, wait no
I hope you
longer.
brought something to deal with these chains.
I did not.
Don't do it. If she gets out of those chains, we're all one step closer to the end.
Let's examine the chains.
You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you. Thank you.
Am
You're
I a
making
locksmith?
A huge mistake.
I'm probably not a locksmith.
No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
No.
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here.
That is also a
intended for her to
question.
never
Why
see
is the
light
princess
of day.
locked up? How did
They
the
would have
princess
just
get locked up?
left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
I'm gonna check upstairs. Maybe the key's still lying around somewhere up there. If not, maybe I can at least find something to break you free. Or how about this? If there isn't a key, do you have any other ideas?
Maybe there's some way to break the chains? Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them.
She offers the suggestion with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we could finally be free. You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here?
Let's try the door.
You try the door, but it's locked from the outside.
Hey, let me out of here.
Your shouts and pleas are met with silence. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
So the narrator probably has some control over the
You
world.
make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely
Oh my
hesitates
gosh.
before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf. As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now.
Yeah.
Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that.
Oh, free the princess is the only option.
Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the unyielding chain binding her to this place. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the bone of her arm. Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit. She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal. No, she didn't. She clutches the wound, softly smiling as her gaze meets yours. How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
All right. Let's approach the locked door.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I can't just let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade.
Oh, the narrator has greater control than we initially thought.
Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit is Stanley Parable going on.
Watch
but
me.
horror.
What are you doing?
Stop that.
Let's try warning her.
Oh, I thought this was all a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges. Wait, she dodges? Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive. The blade. Move the blade.
I'm sorry. I can see you're doing your best to resist what's happening to you. I'll try and make this quick.
She pounces on you with the same animal ferocity she used to tear through her arm. You feel her claws on your throat, then her teeth, somehow sharp enough to pull apart your flesh and sinew with ease. You collapse to the floor, your body unresponsive as your blood pools on the ground beneath you. She stares down at your ravaged form, eyes shining in the darkness, dress stained red as your blood seeps into the fabric. When she manages to escape from this place and bring ruin to the world, know that it was all your fault. It can't just end like this, right? As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. I'm sorry. It's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Oh, great.
You're on a path. You're here.
But I died. What am I doing here?
I can assure you that you're not dead. And to answer your second question, you're here to slay the princess. I literally told you that a second ago. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. Don't forget what he did to us the last time around. We can help her. We just have to find a way. Oh, is there another one of us in here? Help her? Need I run? Sure, and all of us in here definitely believe you. Just stay focused.
All right, let's go to the cabin.
I have one line. She will lie. Yes, don't believe a word she says. Just go in, take the knife, and do what you're supposed to. Wink. Did you just say the word wink out loud?
Yes.
No, I didn't. Wink. Just ignore this clown and focus on the princess.
All right, let's go in.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely empty. The air stale and musty. The floor and walls covered in a fine layer of dust.
Also interesting how
blade
even like
still in
this
the
entry room changes every single time. Let's enter the basement without the knife.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. Her voice.
Hello? Is someone there?
You're playing a dangerous. It's even more hypnotizing than before. Is it more hypnotizing than before, or is that just what we want it to be? I think we're in love. For everyone's sake, you're not in love. Just don't let her charm you. It's all part of the manipulation. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with. She's still so beautiful. And she has both of her arms again. Did everything we just went through actually happen? It must have, because she's different. Can't you tell?
You. I remember you. You're going to help me get out of here, right?
Right. All right, I think I'm gonna stop here and keep an eye and slay the princess for later. I'm wondering, like, what is the deal? There is something going on with her, both with the princess, with the narrator, with the world that you seem to be trapped in, with the loop that you seem to be stuck in, that the narrator himself is not aware of. The narrator is not aware of the loop. Who imprisoned the princess? How is the princess ending the world? Is this the actual whole world, or is it just like your world? Like, how metaphysical are we talking about? For now, though, got any suggestions for something to play next? Leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have yourselves a good night.